if he has anything left to court calling for. I guess he might still have the dismisser. He's probably not going to come into it. Yep, there we go.
Nope, there's game. Owosso scoops him up. So Neil Reeves has taken game one. All 3 game ones are over, and Team USA is up 2-1. We're going to go try to get our cameras over to the match between the champions. Antonino DeRosa, one of the hottest American players on the tour right now, still hasn't put up a Pro Tour top 8, but he won U.S. Nationals. He's been winning Grand Prix right and left.
And Takuma Morofuji, who's a pharmacist.
Yes, slightly less experienced. Okay, a lot less experienced. Takuma Morofuji has been playing Magic for a while. I mean, he's played Japanese Nationals a number of times. I believe he's been to a couple of Pro Tours, but never had the spotlight on him. Never been on stage. Never had this kind of pressure. But, this is a big match. And now he's down a game to Antonino DeRosa. The deck that his teammates helped him draft seemed tremendous.
Right. What happened? Have you ever been in that situation where you're playing with you have this great draft deck, and then you lose game one?
It's scary.
Again, it's the same thing we're talking about, where you make decisions you don't want to lose. Do you make a bad mulligan decision? Do you play a little loose? I mean, what happens when you have this great deck and then it doesn't work out for you? So that's what Morofuji faced with, and he's not someone who's used to this level of competition. So this could be.
Well, there you get a look at him.
This could be a very
Takuma Morofuji on the right of your screen.
He looks pretty happy to be here.
On the left.
Morofuji doesn't look very affected by the actually.
No, that's the thing. I watched him play all day yesterday, and he just seemed happy. I mean, he just seemed sort of very happy-go-lucky guy, almost goofy at times.
Look,
I mean, pretty good matchup of goofy players then.
Funny part. I'm not kidding.
Okay. See, guy with glasses, you tell us.
All right.
All right, we can.
Antonino's been here before. It's actually bizarre. There aren't very many matchups where Antonino DeRosa isn't the goofy one. But this is.
Actually, Antonino DeRosa hasn't really been here before.
That's sort of true.
Sunday at a Pro Tour has not been where Antonino has had his success. It's really been at the Grand Prix level. He's a top 16 player. He's a top 32 player, but he hasn't broken through. He still does not have an individual top 8
or the U.S. National spotlight has to count a little certainly. It wasn't on film though. It was not the cameras that there are here. Seems pretty comfortable though. He's been around this scene,
No, for sure.
He's had friends. He's been there. He's seen the cameras. He's watched. He's cheered friends on.
He's been an Italian national champion and an American national champion.
Did he win Italian nationals?
Not recently, but I think
he was just on the team. But yeah, he's actually one of the few people to be on 2 different national teams.
Americans took a lot of flack. He finished 36th last year at Italian nationals, and then decided it was easier to play at U.S. nationals and won. Is the joke? Took a lot of ribbing from the Europeans over that.
Okay.
Well,
Is it okay?
Yep. Morofuji coming out fairly strong. A 1-drop and a 2-drop, and now the Hasty Legionnaire. So
12.
Smash.
Anthony
5 more damage.
12. 6 more damage. Looks like Antonino's missing a land drop.
Yeah.
For 2 turns here.
Why couldn't the camera be here when I was winning?
Doris is not happy to be screwed on screen.
Sorry. Okay.
Transluminate from DeRosa. No, I'm sorry. Transluminate on table 1.
Yep.
One of my screens is still the overhead from the first table. Transluminate for Neil Reeves, for anyone wondering how that matches.
I was wondering about the blue men in DeRosa's deck. I was looking at the same screen for a minute.
Yeah, it's Sky Sweeper and no third land from DeRosa.
Okay.
Meanwhile, John Sunny has been beaten down to 4. So the table's turning against the Americans. Ichiro Shimura is still on 20 life. And Shimura's up a game, so that match could be about to end. And indeed it does. Ichiro Shimura wins. And Japan is up a match.
Takuma Morofuji evens this matchup. He plays a Vishino Fangtail, and that was enough for DeRosa, who just chump blocked and was still only stuck on 2 lands to scoop.
Wow.
This is going to a rubber game here.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Taking a peek over, I've got a feed with the overhead view here of the Reeves match, and Reeves is out to he's attacking with a Transluminate and 2 Yoron Remis here. And,
Yep, Translimited is wearing Fists of the Ironwood, and there's a couple of Jeroen's player cards. And now,
No, 6. He missed a land drop.
2 Farseeks from on one turn here on the radio play-by-play. And it doesn't look like there's anything going on Oiso's side of the board.
Okay.
no, it really doesn't. This game 3 between the champions may be the one that decides it all. If
He's got 4 men in play and nothing on his board. And a lot of the fatter creatures in Neil's deck are going to be online next turn. He just double Farseek.
Wow.
And there's a Bell Tower Sphinx from Oiso.
I can shuffle?
Then should hold the ground pretty nicely. Brown
champions
scale
are just
and
about okay. There you get a look
snapping
at the
dragon.
match between Neil Reeves and Masashi Oiso.
He still has
Oiso's at
the
a
board advantage, but
14.
that Bell Tower Sphinx is sort of frustrating his attack. He wasn't able to get in with his Transluminant and his 2 guys, so instead just played 7 mana worth of guys. He played a Snapping Drake and a Brown Scale.
No turn 6 play from Oiso. What's he sitting on?
Okay, has an Induced Paranoia and a Convolute he could be sitting on.
It's just behind on the board though, right? Doesn't Reeves just charge in? Well, we'll keep you updated on this match. Looks like the 2 champions are ready, so we will move back to the matchup between the champions. They're in game 3. Antonino DeRosa took the first game. Takuma Morafuji took the second game. Which national champion will hang a match win? If Morafuji wins here, Japan are the world team champions. They have already hung a match win on the board. Ichiro Shimura dispatched John Sunny quickly.
He's got a Sellsword in play early, it looks like.
Attack okay?
Yep. And he's going to follow up with a Goblin Spelunkers here on turn 3.
18.
Only a Courier Hawk from Antonino.
Yeah, there's that unblockable Spelunkers. Ooh, Faith's Fetters and Fangtail and Rally the Righteous in Morafuji's hand.
This game could be over very, very quickly. No,
DeRosa also has a Fangtail. He's got a Spark Mage Apprentice, a Sandsower.
Run damage.
Does have land, and I think is that a Diving Griffin?
Looks like a Sandsower, Diving Griffin are the 2 white cards.
And down comes Fangtail.
Do it. Okay. And 4 cards. 4 cards.
Makes the Rally the Righteous slightly less effective.
Ante. Keep that okay? Sure. Draw's okay.
Antonino's Fangtail will untap as well. As long as
Oh,
the target's
sure.
a red card, so he'll be able to kill a 2 toughness creature.
That's a good point.
He's going to kill the Spelunkers next turn.
Attack okay?
Or is expecting to kill the Spelunkers next turn.
Because he's got that Spark Mage Apprentice in his hand. Do you block Sellsword here?
Sure.
Block.
You're not worried about losing Fangtail to Apprentice?
So I take 2, you take 2. Okay. I go 16, you're 17.
Why does Morafuji does have the Apprentice, so down goes Fangtail.
And
Yeah, I don't think he can afford to just get hit by Sellsword Brute, so I think you
Right.
gotta believe that play, right?
run damage.
Courier Hawk gets in there, 16 apiece.
16.
Can't cast Diving Griffin this turn. Doesn't have 2 white.
Good point. Apprentice is the Apprentice. Interesting. Is that the right play there?
Go ahead.
Is there nothing better coming?
I'll keep it okay?
I guess what he just he's going to be taking 2 a turn here from
It also sets up those Guardians of Vitsugazi. He kind of wants creatures in play.
Right.
He's got multiple, so he can play for them even when he doesn't have them in his hand. Needs the creatures for Convoke.
There comes a Fangtail.
Yep. Japan is up a match, and these are best 2 out of 3, so one more game for Takuma Morafuji will crown Japan the World Team Champions. Neil Reeves, by the way, up to 4 copies of Jerome Remy in play, and he has just sent a bunch of creatures into the red zone. Looks like 7 creatures attacking Masashi Oiso. So Neil trying to hang up a W on the side of the States.
Okay. Your turn. Okay.
Antonino drew the white mana he needed for the Dive Bomber Griffin.
Set round? Yep.
Two Faith Fetters in his hand. Let's look at DeRosa's deck.
Okay. Yep.
That gets him out of this.
12.
Yeah, that Spelunkers could go all the way here. Fetters the Griffin. I like that play. They could deal with Spelunkers, though. It's got to go.
You go
3/2 flyer anyway.
19.
3/3 flyer with the veteran armor.
Yeah. Thank you.
DeRosa keeps
damage.
dutifully attacking with his Courier Hawk. 1 point, 1 point.
18.
It's not going to get it done, though.
No.
He's got to come up with an answer to Spelunker, or he's got to come up with an awful lot of
Well,
damage.
he's just got his Sandsower.
What does that do exactly?
Sandsower will allow him to tap 3 guys to tap 1 guy.
You.
Sort of a Tradewind Ridery tappy thing.
Yep.
Lets him negate the Spelunkers. He can also gives him a use for his Diving Griffin. He can still
Sure.
use the Diving Griffin to tap with the because it's the inability of the Sandsower.
Keep.
Although Rally the Righteous from Morofuji is
Oh, yeah, that could be big.
so over on the other table. Necroplasm just came out and
Destroys all those tokens.
destroyed all those tokens.
All the work Fist of
Nothing but
Ironwood
two,
was doing.
nothing but 2 Transluminance in play.
That's okay.
God, Oiso actually seems to have stabilized that game. I thought he was
Seems like it was
Thought he was
gonna
getting
win that
rolled.
game now.
a lot of land on the Oiso side of the board. Well, a lot of land on both sides.
You got Bell Tower, Tattered Drake, Necroplasm, and
Okay.
Tidewater Minion.
Yeah. Reeves is up a game there, so
Yes, this is the game that really matters. This is game.
indeed.
Ichiro Shimura's won his match, and this is game 3 between DeRosa and Morofuji.
The pharmacist, the casual Magic player, is he good enough
0 attack. Okay.
to win the title for Japan?
Who do you put on the all Scarf team?
The Scarf team? Yeah, Morofuji, Morita,
Sure.
And Raphael Levy?
and Raphael Levy. I think that's the team.
I was very upset. We took a picture with Raphael Levy the other day, and he took the scarf off.
Terrarion for Antonino. Wasn't doing well.
Terrarion for Antonino and 2
Oh, double Fangtail.
Fangtails.
So even though the Sandsower is shutting down the Spelunker,
he could just finish him off with fingers from here.
and then that Rally the Righteous also untaps both the pingers too. So Rally the Righteous is
White, red?
worth 4, 5, 6 damage whenever.
Actually worth
Or-
8 damage because he's going to get 4 hits off the
Well, I was thinking
Fangtail,
you get the Fangtails anyway.
and he's going to get 4 off. Oh, 6 additional.
6 additional.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
plus 6 damage whenever he casts it.
Okay.
And DeRosa's at 10. I don't know. I'm not sure I like Team USA's chances right here. Can Antonino piece this together?
I don't think there's anything he can draw.
You. 10.
When you look at Antonino, it looks like he might know it too.
He needs his Galvanic Arcs. And he needs
Galvanic
them
Arcs,
right
yeah.
now.
Yeah, look at DeRosa just shaking his head.
Okay. Yeah. Draw.
He needs Galvanic Arc. Really, that's about his only out that I can see looking at his board.
Morofuji, a little happier. He's looking over. He's leaning forward.
Attack okay? No.
Aura Touch Mage would also be.
Tap.
There's an Aura Touch Mage in DeRosa's deck, which would go get a Galvanic
He's
Arc.
got to get those arcs in a hurry, though.
Yep.
He's effectively at 8 now. I mean, next turn, the game ends if Morofuji goes for it.
Underline. One card.
What's interesting is the Rally of the Righteous, it's all red cards on Morofuji's side and all white cards on Antonino's side. So Antonino is not going to get any untapped benefits from the Rally of the Righteous.
Wow, Fangtails are going to attack.
His Spark Mage will attack.
No, 2 damage.
His Spark Mage will. Yep. He's going to use the Rally right here.
Yeah, it looks like it. Untaps everybody. So DeRosa's at 8. Oh, does he have 2 blockers available? Yeah, he does. He's
Yeah.
the chump.
It's a nice play.
Fangtails.
He has to get rid of the Sand Sowers.
That is a nice play. All right, Takuma Morofuji. I'm not sure your teammates thought you had this in you, but
Okay. 4 damage.
it's a nice play. He forces Antonino. Oh, Veteran Armorer means the Sand Sower lives. Maybe it's not that
no, it
cool.
doesn't. No, it doesn't live.
Oh, 5 damage.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Those Fangtails were potentially lethal. DeRosa has to chump block them, which means the Spelunkers is free. And
Oh, okay.
He's only got 2 points of damage. I mean,
by the way, that
no threat.
Spelunkers is free from the Sand Sower. DeRosa down to 4.
Yeah, that's a really nice play, I think, from Morofuji. Of course, he could have just face fettered the Sand Tower.
True. DeRosa just has one more turn. No, there it is. Antonino DeRosa defeated by Takuma Morofuji. Congratulations to Japan. Team Japan are the world team champions. Wow. Maybe this is the weekend of their coronation.
Frank Karsten is the only thing standing in the way of a Japanese triple crown here in Yokohama, Japan.
Look at those guys. They are ecstatic. Japan has won the World Team Final. Whew. Congratulations. Masashi Oiso, Ichiro Shimura, and Takuma Morofuji.
That's
Wow.
also the first
Congratulations.
That's also the first win of Oiso's career on a Sunday.
First trophy, first place.
Trophy, yeah.
I mean, he's got a Grand Prix win at some point.
Yeah,
Among the many top
I'm
eights,
talking.
but-
I'm talking about Pro Tour level.
Yeah, I've been talking about that all week, actually. Japan has been, I mean, everyone's conceded that they're amazing at Magic. They've been putting up top 8s and top 16s so consistently, and really that's how you measure who the best players really are. It's those consistent money finishes are sort of more a better indication of skill than winning things. But you know what? It's really nice to win too.
Right.
And Japan had not yet accumulated those wins, but now they're starting to pile up.
Player of the year is out of the way.
Team champions. There's only a very small number of countries that have ever even won that. So they're starting to rack up the wins.
Right.
They're in their home country. I think
two Pro Tour wins, and the one thing that they haven't done, they still don't have a world They don't have a world championship. So it's Frank Karsten versus Katsumori. Who do you like?
Karsten's Greater Good deck seems like it's got a better late game than Katsumori.
And he goes into the Hideous Laughter recursion in game 2, 3, 4, and 5.
He's got the gifts package that he can go customize his deck to do whatever. Interesting.
Yeah, he has. I'm sure he's going to be bringing in the Hanakami package. He's got Hideous Laughter.
How long is it going to be?
He's got. And he can also lock down the board with his Yoseis and his Gorgio's Vengeance package. So.
I mean, it feels like Japan's weekend. I said this when we did the pregame show today. It really feels like this is the weekend for the Japanese coronation. And I mean, maybe it counts with Player of the Year and the team title, but I mean, this would really finish the weekend. And sort of the emotional side of me, the fan of the game wants to see Japan coronated.
You would like to see a big payoff to this 2-3 year surge that they've been going. This would really be it. This would be there'd be no arguing. There'd be no, like, people were even talking a little bit coming into this event. Like, well, they've done pretty well, but the French keep winning. The French keep winning. The French have the trophies.
The Dutch have been playing great Magic, maybe not as much earlier this year, but
the Dutch have had an off season in terms of
until
top
now.
eights. Yeah, until now, in terms of top eights. And Frank Karsten's clearly stepped to the forefront of the Dutch Magic scene. I mean, he's got 2 top eights this year, and he's going through to the finals. He could, he could be the first Dutch player to win since the Von Dutch won in Seattle.
Julian. Don't forget Julian.
Julian last year at Worlds.
I mean, it could be back-to-back Dutch world champions.
That would be that. Well, and they have a history of this.
And Tom Vanderlot a couple years before that. Absolutely. Now, back-to-back Dutch world champions. You can't say they've had an all-season if they go back-to-back with world champions.
I said a season. I didn't say a year. But it's been longer than a year.
Semantics.
Yeah. Well, this season of Pro Tours has not been great for them.
That's fair.
Although Julian did say that so many of the Dutch players are on the level 3 or higher at this point.
Right.
This is more so than ever.
This has really been a year where they have established themselves as regulars. They've got, all the guys that used to be regulars at the PTQs in the Netherlands are now regulars on the tour. They've all gotten 20 pro points, 30 pro points. They've established themselves as regulars. And, no, they haven't put up the wins. But
right. And even some of the, Bas Postema, I'm probably saying it horribly wrong. He taught Haroon Remy how to play Magic, and he was here with the Dutch national team. And there was Haroon was on the sidelines cheering his mentor on.
Bas was playing for top 8 in the last round.
Yeah, and he had a very good tournament.
Boss 2, Katsuhiro Mori.
Katsuhiro Mori.
Perhaps he's the Dutch Slayer.
Can you imagine? This is for someone. Think about what he was feeling the last
24 hours ago.
The last round of the Swiss.
48 hours ago. Yeah, 48 hours ago. I'm not sure you could have found a more miserable human being in a Magic venue anywhere on the planet.
After being declared a mortal lock for the top 8.
Right.
I mean, he had an almost unprecedented.
Not unprecedented, by the way. Even if he'd collapsed, he would have just been pulling a Jeff Donay. I mean, Jeff Donay, Worlds 1997, there were 7 round days, and on that last day, he was so far ahead of the field, he only needed to go 1-5-1.
Right.
And he went 1-6.
Yeah. So yeah, it would have been
not unprecedented.
It would have been Donay-like.
Historic.
Yeah, historic. And he won that last match. So
yeah, beat Bas Postema in a really tight game. He was at 2 against Boros deck wins with a handful of cards and 2 Firebolts in the graveyard.
Yeah. Exalted Angel pulled it out for him.
Yeah,
and he had to make a really difficult decision in that game. I mean, he thought for a long time, and he had to make a decision about whether or not he was willing to tap a lot of his mana.
Yeah, flip Exalted Angel takes him down to 1 counter. It's actually, I think Bas could have won the game if he played it differently. Like if he goes end step Helix, he had Lightning Helix in hand. He could have Helix Katsu on end step. It gets countered, of course.
But he has to up Breakland to do that too.
Well, he's got
1.
But he's got 4 lands in play. If he draws a land off the top, Katsu is now tapped out from flipping Exalted Angel and countering Lightning Helix, so he can Firebolt out of the graveyard. So essentially, if he plays to top deck a land, there's a scenario where Bas wins. Bas did not elect to play that. He went a different way with his plays. He did have the land on top of his library.
Oh.
So that close. But it didn't. I mean, Bas couldn't deal the damage then. Katsu got to attack with the Exalted Angel, and that was the game. And Katsu, I've never seen it. I'm not sure I've seen anybody happier about winning a Magic match. I've never seen anybody more miserable around about the 5th round of Friday, and I've never seen anybody happier when round 6 ended.
I didn't see him after 1. I'd be hard-pressed to see someone more happy than Antoine Ruel was at the end of Pro Tour Los Angeles.
Go watch the Day 3 wrap-up.
I will. I haven't actually had a chance to watch any of the video. I've barely seen the video I shot for the Hall of Fame on sometime last month, it seems like already.
Yeah, no, if you go watch the Day 3 wrap-up, there's a nice shot of Katsu, as he wins and with his teammates coming out of the stand to congratulate him. He's just so happy and so relieved. And he seems, today he's all happy. He's smiling. He's got a nice scarf for the finals.
He's got Masahiko Morita's scarf is what it looks like.
He's got the coat. Did he get that from Asahara?
No. I think that's not the same coat.
No, all right. Anyway, you'll get a chance to look at Katsu is dressed up for the finals.
He's joining the Scarf team.
Wow.
He's looking to displace Rafael Levy off the All Scarf squad.
I mean, it's funny. These guys are supremely confident too. Like they're getting to the point where they expect to win these titles. I mean, Asahara had the trophy shot planned out. He's like, I want to do the Finkel with the.
I gotta tell you, I think he might be wearing that to disguise what he's wearing under it.
Really?
Yes.
What do you think under there?
I see a glimpse of blue tie. Did he change into the John
That's
Finkel?
what I was wondering.
Did he change into the John Finkel shirt tie? I mean, he's got the same white shirt on because I see those giant sleeves, those giant cuffs. I don't think so. That's probably just a trick of the light.
Yeah, those players we have rousted up. Frank Karsten and Katsuhiro Mori. They're currently shuffling up their decks. And we're just minutes away from the World Team Championship. Sorry, the Individual Championship. It's been a great day.
Oh, it's been a great week. I've had a blast the whole time. I love Worlds. Worlds is this is only the third or fourth Worlds I've been to, but I really love it every time. It's different than a regular Pro Tour. It doesn't have the same energy it has. There's just so much stuff going on between the team there's so many storylines. I mean, as someone who's doing coverage, it's great because there's just a wealth of storylines to cover.
Yeah, and you've got stuff like the Vintage Draft and all kinds of side events going on.
That's kind of the bittersweet part. Like, I mean, I really wanted to drop a couple times from the coverage team over the weekend, and really a Mirage Draft. There was a Mirage Sealed Deck tournament that I wanted to be in. I mean, that seemed like it would just be much more fun than anything else. Opportunity to play with Tempest or Mirage or any of those old sets.
Sure. You can play with Mirage next week. Comes out on Magic Online on Monday.
Oh no, he doesn't. He does not have the tie. It was just a trick of the light.
It's got the scarf though.
But he does have Marita's scarf. Still paying homage to great players. Oh, sounded like we were going to get started there for a second.
Soon. They're still shuffling.
So game one. What do you think here?
Yeah, we haven't actually seen this matchup yet. I mean, Ghazi Glare is all on one side of the bracket.
Karsten felt really good about it. Karsten went 6-0 on day one with this deck.
Right.
And he did play against Ghazi Glare. I mean, we can look through his pairings.
Kaji went 6-0 with the Ghazi Glare deck as well.
Right.
And Katsu went 5-1.
Right. And we'll check and we'll see how many.
I don't know if Karsten ran into this along the way to that 6-0.
We'll look through the old pairings and see who he played and see if we can identify any Ghazi Glare players.
Yeah, I feel like Karsten has the advantage. I feel like Karsten has the advantage matchup-wise, and I think, I have a lot of respect for Katsumori's magic brain, but I do think, he's still, it's funny, we talk about all the things going on here. This is also Katsumori trying to prove that he can play the game, too. He's not just a designer, but that he's, in fact, one of the best pilots of decks in the business. Bouncing up and down, full of nervous energy. I mean, right now, you'd have to pick Karsten. I mean, Karsten seems like the consummate player.
Right.
Also fine with the design, but I mean his technical play is highly respected around the world, and people think Katsu's maybe not necessarily in the top 5 in this country.
There are a lot of great technical players. I mean, Kenji Samura. Well, Kenji Samura is someone who, it's interesting. He's in an opposite situation of Katsumori.
He's a pilot.
He feels he's a great technical player, but not a great builder.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the really interesting things talking to Kenji this weekend was Kenji like, I'm the player of the year. This is his great responsibility. And he's like, I didn't do that well at limited events. I'm not a great deck designer. He's like, I'm going to really have to work hard and get better next year.
Yeah. He's embarrassed. He's not good enough. He's not worthy of the Player of the Year title.
I mean, how can he possibly get better?
He can get better. He hasn't made day 2 at limited. He can clearly get better.
It's hard to just look at an entire year and see. And there are not that many seasons that have been put together that were as good as the season he's put together. I mean, there were 2 of them this year that were close.
Sure.
But 3 actually, if you count Shuhei. Shuhei had a. But I mean, but that's, and I think that's the interesting thing though. These guys are never satisfied. They want to get better. They practice. They take this very seriously as their job also.
Right.
I mean, they have fun. They certainly have fun. But this is what they do. So, Katsumori's looking at a nice payday here.
Oh wow! Sounds like no, they're still shuffling. They rolled some dice, and Katsumori will be playing first in the first game.
Oh really?
How big of an advantage do you think that is in this matchup?
I mean, he's going to try to get his. I think that's probably pretty big for him, actually. I think he wants to explode out of the gate and really overwhelm Frank before Frank can get his monsters into play. He wants to come out with Elves and Jitte, and he wants to get his Selesnya Guildmage, and he just wants to beat down. So I think he definitely wants to play. But
Trickor in the forum says, "Is it possible for Karsten to lose?" Not sure that Ghazi Glare has any real chance against Greater Good.
I mean, I don't think it's likely that Karsten will lose.
You know where we are?
I don't think it's likely that Karsten will lose, but it's certainly possible.
We'll see. It feels like the fates are lined up on the side of the Japanese.
I mean, Mori's deck doesn't seem like a very good deck against it doesn't seem to offer any resistance to the combo once, the gifts ungiven combo once Frank gets that going. So I mean, maybe by transforming into a greater good deck himself, maybe that's how he fights it. And he hopes
Doesn't have a gift package to set it up though.
Right. Well, Frank transforms into a gifts deck, and then he transforms into a greater good deck, and
will Frank transform into a gifts deck in this matchup?
Well, he's got Hideous Laughter in his sideboard that he can just use constantly and keep the Selesnya Guild Mages and the mana producers and the token creatures at bay. I mean, that's part of that was like when the original gifts package developed. It was really around Hideous Laughter or Ethereal Haze, right?
Sure.
As a creature control package. So I mean, that's all Mori has in his deck is creatures. So if Karsten gets that package, I don't really know what's going to happen. And the dragons that are in Mori's deck are also in Karsten's deck, and Karsten can he's pretty happy to just Goryo's Vengeance, and all right, we're both tapped, and now my guy's gone, and I'll bring him back, and I don't know that Mori can win this. And if you're willing to take Mori, I'm willing to take Karsten.
All right, fine. Sounds good.
And there's.
Well, both players are happy. Wow, it's time. It's been a long week. We are down to 2 players. Dutch player Frank Karsten against the Japanese hero Katsuhiro Mori. We'll be back with coverage of the championship finals right after this.